Now, the first thing we have to understand about SimCity 3000 is that this game and the algorithms that power the actual simulation are actually very clever, and it will try to simulate a real-world scenario. And in understanding that, you can then very quickly appreciate how important it is to plan out your city thoroughly, like you would a real city, to make sure that your residents are happy and that the city grows. So if we have a look, I personally recommend, through a lot of experimentation, to not have very big city blocks, because if these city blocks get way too big, the issue then becomes accessibility between buildings and structures, and very quickly Sims will abandon that. Also, to help with congestion, create double roads. They're much wider, they help with congestion, they look nicer, which means the price of the area will go up. And never forget, space accessibility is key for Sims, because they have to get to places, and if they don't like it, they won't want to live there. Highways and freeways, very, very important to connect them to other cities, but also help with congestion. Speeds on them are much faster, and being faster means Sims can get to places much, much faster. And again, helps easing congestion. And yes, have plenty of off and on ramps, because they have to use the freeway efficiently. Now, in terms of zoning, you can have dense, medium, and light zoning, whether it's commercial, residential, or industrial. Now, the thing about industrial zoning is the fact that it produces a lot of pollution. So if you're going to build industries, make sure there's enough space between that and in your residential or commercial areas. I recommend leaving a space of about 3. And the reason you would do that is because you could then, in fact, plant various parks, various playgrounds, small parks, ponds, sports stadiums or fields, and of course zoos. And these are all things that add to the greenery of your city, and people love them. The residents love them, and it gives them a great opportunity to spend some time with their families, spend their money, relax, and have plenty of recreation timing. And that's very, very important if you want to keep your Sims happy. Public transportation. I cannot stress public transportation enough. You have to try and get as many cars off the road. And how do we do that? Well, we provide public transportation through bus stops, bus stations. I personally recommend putting them in as many places as you possibly can. The more bus routes, the less cars are used. Again, helps with congestion. And the same with subway stations. Subway stations are about $500 each. They're expensive. And the subway lines are even more expensive. So make sure you save up plenty of money first before you start connecting subway stations with subway lines. Now, government amenities. It seems logical, but it's not. Personally, I recommend putting things like police stations and fire departments together, because then they both have active circles that are roughly in the same area, which means you won't put too many stations in the wrong areas where there are already other stations present. And in doing so, it means you are evenly covering the entire city with law enforcement and fire departments. Hospitals are a no-brainer. Health of Sims is incredibly important, so make sure there are plenty of hospitals. In fact, put more hospitals down, because what happens is if you have the best healthcare in the region, Sims from other nations and other cities will flock and your population will grow. Same with libraries and schools, colleges and schools and libraries. You want to make sure there's a lot of them, because as the Sims get better educated, it means they become professionals. And you know what that means? It means that all these industries that are built here become high-tech. And if it becomes high-tech, they're so highly sought after. Being highly sought after means more Sims will move into the region, because they'll be seeking, professional employment. Museums. That's one that's often overlooked. It's important to keep your Sims cultured. Culture also adds to aura, education level, and general prosperity, health, recreation, and happiness. And if your Sims are happy, your city will grow and your population will grow. That's it. Keep it pretty simple. Everything else you already know. Remember, think of it like a real city. Add recreation, education, healthcare. Make sure there's enough law and order and plenty of work for people. And if you have all that down packed and you ease congestion, they'll flock to your city. Until next time.